Hey guys, thanks for coming back and joining me for another week of What's for Dinner. This week I'm collabing with the one and only Leanne from Grady's mom. I'm sure that many of you guys are already subscribed to her because she is amazing, but just in case you aren't, I want to send you on over her way. She does the weekly What's for Dinner videos, and she also does lunchbox idea videos, which I know a lot of you guys are into, and she has other content to choose from as well. Everything that she makes just looks magazine worthy. I'm sure that if you watch her too, you will agree with me on that, and I just really like her ideas and I truly enjoy her channel. So if you like my channel, I definitely think you will enjoy hers as well. So definitely go and check her out. There will be a link to her channel down in my description box, as well as a link to her What's for Dinner video. I'm sure that between the both of us, you will have plenty of inspiration for your next meal plan. So let's go ahead and jump on into my week of What's for Dinners. On Monday, I tried a new recipe for a Southwestern chicken and yellow rice bake. So for the ingredients, you're going to need 2 cups of cooked and shredded chicken. I just took a shortcut and bought a rotisserie. You'll also need a can of cream of chicken, as well as some black beans, a small can of corn drained, and then also a can of diced tomatoes with green chilies, drained as well. Also some shredded cheese, a package of yellow rice, and some taco seasoning. So I'm just going to cook up the rice and mix all of this together. This recipe is definitely a keeper. We all absolutely loved it, including the kids. We actually ended up scooping it up with some tortilla chips, and that made it over the top. I also think this will be really good as a burrito filling. On Tuesday, I made a creamy garlic parmesan spinach spaghetti squash. I love this recipe, and this was my first time ever making a spaghetti squash in the Instant Pot. A lot of you guys recommended this to me, so I finally gave it a try. So I just poked a bunch of holes in it, and then I placed a cup of water in the Instant Pot, placed the squash on the trivet, set the lid on, and I let it cook for 35 minutes. So while that was cooking, I went ahead and got started on the sauce. So to a skillet, I'm just heating up some olive oil, and then I'm throwing in some freshly minced garlic, and I just let that saute for about a minute, and then I dumped in a 5-ounce package of fresh spinach, and I just tossed that around in that garlic oil and let it wilt down. It took only a couple of minutes. And then after it was wilted down, I added in a 1/2 cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese, as well as a 1/2 cup of heavy cream, and then about 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. So I just stirred that all around and just let everything melt together. And then I seasoned it up. You probably can't see here, but I'm grinding in some Himalayan pink salt, as well as some black pepper. And then I decided to add in some of the Trader Joe's 21 seasoning salute, and that is it. I just gave that a final stir, and then I took it off the burner and let it sit until my squash was ready. I stuck a knife down the middle just to show you guys how tender it was, and then I moved it to a foil-lined cookie sheet and cut it down the middle. This was really easy to do compared to if you were doing it raw like I normally do, but it was obviously still really hot, so that steam was burning my hand. But you could prep this ahead of time and let it completely cool down, and I think that would help a lot with this part right here. This was pretty tricky since the squash was so tender. It made getting the seeds and that weird stringy stuff from the middle out, but I finally got it, and it didn't take too long. So I would definitely make a spaghetti squash in the Instant Pot again. I do recommend it. It saved a lot of time, and it was nice just to be able to throw in the whole squash. So after that, I just fluffed up the strands. It pulled away from the sides super easily, and then I just evenly distributed that sauce and mixed it all around together. And then I'm going to be topping it with some shredded cheese as the last step. I'm just using that Fiesta blend cheese that I used the day before. And then I'm going to throw that in my oven at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. And here is the finished product. How yummy does that look? I made this a few times now and I just love it every single time. It is so creamy and flavorful. If you have never tried spaghetti squash before and you've been wanting to try it, I think this will be a really good recipe for you to try it out with. I really don't think that you'll be disappointed. On Wednesday, I tried a new recipe for hamburgers. It was titled Best Burgers Ever. I wouldn't say that, but it was good, and I'm going to call them Teriyaki Burgers. So, to 1 pound of ground beef, I have just added in some dried basil, as well as some black pepper and some onion powder. And then here, I'm just dumping in some grated Parmesan cheese, followed by some dried Italian-style breadcrumbs. And then for the last ingredient, I'm just going to be adding in some teriyaki sauce. I did add in 3 tablespoons of that, and then I'm just going to get in there with my hands and make sure that everything gets incorporated really well, and I'm going to form it into 4 patties. So I was going to go and cook these out on the grill, but go figure, it started to rain, never fails. So I just cooked it in my cast iron skillet, which I think is just as good. Next time I would probably form this into 3 patties though instead of 4, because they did end up being smaller than the bun. I served these on brioche buns and topped it with some white American cheese, pickles, lettuce, tomato, and mayo. And then I also have some broccoli and cheese tots. I cooked these in my air fryer. I found these in the freezer section by Green Giant. I got these at Walmart. If you haven't tried them, highly recommend them. They are so good. And then I also have some fresh cantaloupe and cherries on the side. On Thursday, I made a Greek yogurt pizza dough. This is the same recipe that I use for the bagels that I'm always making. So to my KitchenAid mixer, I'm just adding in 1.5 cups of self-rising flour and then 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt. So I'm just going to let that mix until it forms into a ball, and then I'm going to dump that out onto some extra flour, and I'm just going to knead that for a little bit. This is a rather sticky dough, and this helps a ton with that. So then to a pizza pan, I am just spraying some olive oil spray, and I am going to take out the dough and spread it out and then add our toppings. Topped my pizza with some parsley for color, and then I served it with a Caesar side salad, just using one of those salad kits from Walmart. And this pizza dough is my new go-to. We all loved it. It was super easy, just 2 ingredients as you guys seen. I didn't have to wait for anything to rise, and I love the added protein that the Greek yogurt gave my kids. In this bag, I have 1 large chicken breast that I have sliced into 3 thinner pieces. And then I have a 1/2 cup of this Olive Garden Italian dressing and 1/2 cup of this barbecue sauce. I just whisked those 2 things together and poured it in this bag. And it's been marinating in my fridge for several hours. And I'm about to go outside and grill these up. And then back here, I have 2 cans of the no salt added green beans. And I've never cooked it this way before, but I had a 1/2 package of this Italian salad dressing mix left over from last week. So I just went ahead and dumped that on in there with a little bit of butter. So once I get these things done, I will come back and show you my plate. That marinade made this chicken amazing. I would definitely do that again. And then I have a good serving of those green beans, and I also made some potato salad earlier that morning. And if you are interested on knowing how I made that, there will be a link to it down in my description box. Saturday, we were super busy. We were gone the entire day, so we just went out for some Wendy's, and it was late, so we ate it in the car. On Sunday, I made Sloppy Joe nachos, so all I have done is brown up 1.5 pounds of ground beef, drained off all the excess fat, and then I added in a can of that Manwich bold sauce and just let that simmer for a bit. Here, I'm just spraying a tinfoil lined cookie sheet, and I'm going to spread out some tortilla chips, and then I'm going to top it with that meat mixture and some shredded cheese. I let that bake in the oven at 350 degrees for 10 minutes, and I let that cool for just a couple of minutes, and then I topped it with some diced tomatoes and also some diced pickle slices. And here is what my plate looked like. This was so good and such a fun way to switch up your normal nacho night, and it was so quick to put together and easy. So that is going to wrap up this week. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to go and check out Leanne from Grady's Mom, and if you're over here from her channel, I hope that you'll stick around and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.